Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Health Yes, here at Cameron County Public Health, where we talk about all things public health and more. I'm your host, Javier.
And I'm Andrea Gomez. We have a really cool guest coming in today. His name is George Garcia.
Yes.
And March is an important month to celebrate down here in South Texas because of the Ocelot Conservation Day. And so we're going to talk all about ocelots. We're going to get to know more about them, know through why they are an endangered species and how we can help. So can't wait for him to join us.
Today is all about ocelots, so let's go ahead and kick it off.
So, Georgie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about your agency and sort of like the scope of work that you do?
Of course. So I work with U.S. Fish and Wildlife under the Department of Interior. We are a federal agency. And the refuge that I am a part of would be Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge, who our mission is to work with others to conserve, protect, and enhance fish, wildlife, plants, and their habitat for the continuing benefit of the American people. I've been with the service for 8 years, and I'm extremely blessed. People always ask me, how did I get into this career? And that's the only thing I could say is just extremely blessed. I love what I do. I've always had a love for the outdoors. I was a Cub Scout back when I was younger, and it started then. I mean, It started with fishing off of Adolph Tomei Jr. County Park, and which is refuge property as well, in partnership with Cameron County. So as per like what I do in a day, it varies. So I do manage the visitor center, but U.S. Fish does the big six, which is hunting, fishing, wildlife observation, photography, environmental education, and interpretation. So anything that revolves around those 6 categories, I kind of have my hand in, or I'm coordinating volunteer staff in order so they can provide that to the general public.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty much, it's very ever-changing. It just depends on the season or the time of the day as per what I'm doing. But from cleaning the restrooms to doing portraits, you name it, I like it.
Well, we're here to learn a little bit more about yourself and the services that you provide. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
What types of conservation work does your work really focus on primarily?
We do a lot of wetland, prairie, and thorn scrub restoration that are crucial parts of conservation efforts. Thorn scrub is an endangered species of habitat. Who the ocelot, that's their home. So it's a very crucial endangered habitat that we only have 5% left.
Oh, wow. And since when are they endangered or considered endangered?
The ocelots or the habitat?
The ocelots.
They've been federally listed under endangered for quite some time. I do not have the accurate year, though.
Are we the only place in the U.S. where they exist, or do they exist in other parts of the United States?
As per the U.S., this is the only place that they're found in our Rio Grande Valley, our little slice of paradise.
So then they're local.
Oh, definitely.
I was telling Javi just before you arrived, just a quick story. Almost, I want to say, nearly 15 years ago, when I joined what used to be UTB, the mascot was the Ocelot. And we were that for just a very brief time before the merge happened and RGV happened, and then it became Vaquero, right? But
before that, it was a scorpion, so you're aging yourself too.
Am I dating him? Oh, no.
Trust me, when you mentioned that, I was like, when I went there, it was scorpion. So
what did I just do? Anyway, we were the Ocelots for, I want to say, a year and a half, maybe 2. And I always questioned, as to why they would choose the ocelot, because I didn't know that. Well, now you answered my question, that they are local. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's where they're found here in the U.S. in the Rio Grande Valley. However, they're still in Mexico and South America, further south.
But like on our side of
just
the
Rio
land.
Grande Valley, a couple of counties.
Wow, that's really cool to know.
I had a feeling that's what it was, because I remember when it was still the scorpions, and when I was when I had left, I think I had done like a year and a half at UTB when there were still the scorpions, and when I was leaving, that's when they were having the poll to figure out what the mascot was going to be after the change, the separation.
The separation.
And Ocelot was on there, and I remember that a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, it has to be the ocelot because it's an endangered species and it's locally found." Of course, Vaquero was also on there and everything else, but it won for a little bit, and then the whole UTRGV thing happened, and then we went back to vaqueros.
Vaqueros it is.
But
So for those watching, I'm 21.
in case you were trying to figure out the age range,
Don't
of our
don't
hosts,
do math right now. We're talking about ocelots. Don't do math.
This is a different podcast.
So going back to the ocelots, sorry, Javi, to interrupt you. What are the biggest threats out there for them?
Oh, there are plenty of threats to ocelots. One of the biggest ones would be habitat loss. Going back to the only 5% of thorn scrub habitat left within the U.S. There at the refuge, we have approximately 120,000 acres and some of the most pristine ocelot habitat in North America.
Right.
So it's absolutely phenomenal. To us, it might not seem like much, especially if you're an individual just coming to the refuge to maybe do some birding, biking, or hiking. It's extremely thick, dense thorn scrub habitat, and it stays true to its name. So everything from a 6-inch thorn to small little cat claws that as soon as you rub up against them, they're going to grab onto your hand, your clothes, everything.
Right.
And it just makes great hunting grounds for an apex predator such as the ocelot, which he utilizes that area to hunt some of the landing migratory birds that happen to be within that area, picking off some of the seeds and berries that are given from those types of.
Right.
So that's normal. That's their normal diet, you would say.
Yeah. Their diet mainly consists of rabbits
Right.
and rodents, but they are opportunistic predators. So birds, lizards, snakes. It's very rare that they'll be consuming a smaller mammal such as
Like a possum.
or an armadillo, anything like that, they're going to be a little bit more uncommon. And we know that because we do studies on their scat.
Right.
So scat would be fecal matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you know what they're consuming, basically. And what conservation efforts are, being done towards them?
Big monitoring program. So we undertake a large monitoring program, and we did for many, many years. We know the problem that they have. It's habitat loss, fragmentation. Going back to your previous question, fragmentation would be the division of two main pieces of property that they happen to reside in.
Right.
And a great example of that would be FM 106.
Yes.
So to the north, we have the Laguna Atascosa proper, and then to the south, we have a brand new tract that we acquired in 2020 of approximately 4,000 acres. I believe accurately it's like 3,600, and that's all ag land.
Right.
So that fragmentation does create the division where it poses a different threat to the ocelot, which is vehicle collision. So 40 to 50% of the recorded mortalities is due to road collisions with
roadkill. They end up being
roadkill.
roadkill.
Definitely.
Now, what would you say that there are? How are some ways that some of our community can help with some of these efforts? Is there by chance any way that we can do that?
No, definitely, Joe. Going back to vehicle collisions, slow down when you're within our acquisition boundary of FM roads 510, 106, 100, where ocelots do reside, especially where we have such a large landmass of property for them. So definitely just watching your speed, low light conditions. If you're traveling, between, they're extremely nocturnal. So if you're traveling at night, traveling in the early mornings, late evenings, definitely always keep an eye out. Make sure you're looking on the side of the roads as you're driving, just in case. Not only for the ocelot, but there's nilgai antelope, there's white-tailed deer, feral hog, javelina. If you look at my truck, the whole front, I look like Mater. There's no point in fixing the grill because it's only a matter of time before I hit something else. So it is quite dangerous. So you want to watch your speed regardless.
Right.
And then as per what they can do, if they happen to see a dead cat, whether it's an ocelot or a bobcat, and a lot of times we do get the phone calls, I have a dead ocelot here. Okay, maybe send me a photo.
Right.
9 times out of 10, it is a beautiful bobcat.
Right.
So always keep in mind of that, knowing what an ocelot is, just the awareness and the education of it, being able to identify what an ocelot is in comparison to a bobcat. So if you do happen to come across one, you would be able to call us, and we would coordinate with different agencies in order to try to go and recover that species in order to do different things. The last one, trying to think what year it was, but they ended up and I don't recall the year or the name of the ocelot, but they recovered it with enough time that it was still, they were able to pull even semen from it, so DNA matter that was able to be used here at Gladys Porter Zoo in the captive breeding program that they have to try to diversify some of that.
Interesting. Okay.
Wow.
So there's just a lot of things that our researchers can get done.
What are? Can you tell us very briefly what are some of the differences between an ocelot and a bobcat?
Oh yeah, the ocelot is way prettier.
There you go.
So some of the key identifier would be the tail. A bobcat stays true to its name. That's why it has that name, the bobcat. It's a very short tail, on average no longer than 6 inches. And the ocelot, its tail would be extremely long, anywhere from a third to almost half the length of its body. And the pattern is it's just a beautiful pattern in comparison to the bobcat. However, we do have some bobcats that have very pretty patterns, but their patterns can range from as plain as a mountain lion or as spotted as an ocelot. You also have the ears. On an ocelot, the ears are going to be more rounded, and as per a bobcat, they're pointed with tufted.
Like tufts, right? Yeah. Okay.
And then the beard on the bobcats. They have that beard, and the ocelots have a very nice, sleek, slender face.
Gotcha.
Is there a wide variety of colors that they have?
For ocelots, their patterns are unique to them.
Okay.
They're one of a kind species. So similar to the way every one of us can be identified by our fingerprints,
right,
the ocelots are identified by their patterns. So there's no two ocelots that look the same.
Wow.
They're very unique, just to like our fingerprints. And as per pattern wise, they all have the ocelotic, pattern, but similarities, just all different.
Got it. And can you share if there are any fun facts about ocelots?
It would be that one. I mean, that's the
Their
funnest
pattern?
one to me is a pattern, just because that's so unique, and it makes them very unique.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I do some outreach at schools, I'll always ask, who was born, who's here from the Rio Grande Valley, and you'll see hands go up, and like, well, you're just as special as an ocelot. And so it would definitely be their pattern. Their range is very unique in here, specifically in South Texas, because of the loss of habitat that we have. So a male ocelot's range would be 3 to 4 square miles, and the female would be 1 to 2. So, and that's
They roam a little less.
just a little, definitely, but that's drastically different in comparison to the ocelots that reside in South America,
right,
or even in the north end of Argentina, Mexico area. That their habitat that they have over there is going to be a lot more.
Because they have plenty.
So that directly impacts their way of just living and roaming.
Definitely.
Wow. And what is the lifespan of an ocelot?
So the lifespan of an ocelot would be 7 to 13 years, and some reports even having it 10 to 13. And then you also go into a whole different category when you're looking at captive programs, such as zoos, where they can live 15 to 20 years plus.
Just like a cat, just like a house cat. You're talking to a cat lover here.
Oh,
so
okay, very good. I love all cats.
Yeah, exactly. I love all cats. If I were to see an ocelot, best believe I will try to rescue it, even though I know it's wrong.
Well, that's a great thing about the Rio Grande Valley. So because of our habitat, historically, every single cat that's native to North America was native to the Rio Grande Valley, except for one, the Canadian lynx. That's because of our weather. It's just too hot
it
down
won't.
here. But other than that, we've had jaguars, mountain lions. I mean, you name it, we've had it. Margays. It's all has occurred here in the Rio Grande
and then
Valley.
whatever escapes Gladys Porter Zoo.
That does happen every now and again.
Right. How are ocelots with interacting with humans?
They don't. Mainly, they are extremely nocturnal. So the refuge itself, we're open 365 days a year to the general public. We have 60 miles of hiking and biking trails, but we're only open from sunrise to sunset.
Gotcha.
So as per their interaction, the humans are out at a different time.
Right, because they're mainly nocturnal.
And they won't come out.
Gotcha.
They won't come out during the day.
No, they'll definitely stay in their den area if there's a danger within that area. There's something going on. They'll stay within that area. They stayed hunkered down into that dense thorn scrub habitat because it's almost impenetrable. The only time that they do get some interaction would be with our researchers, U.S. Fish and Wildlife partners with some amazing research partnerships, Cesar Kleberg Wildlife Research Institute, Texas A&M Kingsville, UT-RGV. So I did state that we do have a large monitoring program where we have, a lot of game cameras set up, and we're able to identify them because of their pattern.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest monitoring aspects, but we also do live trapping.
Okay.
So in doing so, the ocelot goes through what I like to say is the best doctor's visit you can ever think of, because they get tested for A through Z. We'll
and
pull
without
out
insurance.
yeah, correct.
Perfect.
We're here at Health, so but then we take measurements of their body, their tails, the circumference of their head, fecal samples, urine samples, you name it, and that would be probably their only interaction with humans is during that time frame.
What gives you hope about the future of ocelots in South Texas?
I'm a very optimistic individual. But I think what gives me the most hope is recently we have we have a new volunteer who he's extremely technology savvy. I'm pretty sure up there with you, but he was able to compile all the documentaries that we've had that have been done by Richard Moore in the
nice.
past about the
Wow.
refuge. And we put them all on one USB. So now if you go to our visitor center, there's an area where we have a TV and it's just playing on a loop.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's
every now
awesome.
and again, I'll get lost in listening to Richard Moore's voice, and it's mesmerizing. It really is. I could hear it in my sleep, honestly, with how often it plays. But it's interesting to see the numbers from early 2000s in comparison to what they are today. So it's at a slight increase. And I remember watching one of the documentaries, and it was in the high teens, where to this day we have approximately 20.
Incredible.
Which is, it's a small increase, but that's
But
what gives me
hey.
hope. Yeah, is that small increase,
as it
and then all
doesn't
the
go
work
down.
that's being done.
Yeah.
The habitat restoration projects that are currently being done on that track that we acquired in 2020, Unit 9. That's probably the largest restoration project that Laguna has been a part of.
Right.
And doing that is to ensure that the ocelot will have a home. As I said, habitat loss. So
Right.
we're re-vegging Tamaulipan thorn scrub. And U.S. Fish is really writing the book when it comes to revegetation of Tamaulipan thorn scrub. It hasn't been done. It's been done for cedar and different trees that we utilize as humans.
Right.
But when you talk about a non-usable habitat, something that we completely destroyed for agricultural fields and to live in, because it's terrible. There's times that I have scratches all over my arms because of how thorny
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
So we're writing the book on it, and it's being done in such a way where usable habitat is what we're really focused on. And what is usable habitat? So if we were to plant 100 trees within an acre, that's cool, that's good. We're putting more Tamaulipan thorn scrub on the ground.
Right.
But is it usable? Will it be dense and thick enough for an ocelot to call it home? Probably not for years and years and years to come. So what we're doing is we're planting anywhere from 5,000 trees per acre to 1,000 trees per acre. And that's going to make real quick connectivity
Nice.
in order to ensure that they're going to have a home.
So it's density that they need of the brush.
Oh, yeah. The thicker, the better.
Got it.
Very nice.
Now, you mentioned a volunteer working with you. Do you have sort of volunteering opportunities?
Definitely, we do have individuals who commit. So we have RV volunteers, which they live on site and they volunteer for 3 consecutive 8-hour shifts, whether that be in the maintenance program, the visitor center. And then we have the local volunteers who they really help out, especially, during the summer when winter Texan season's kind of over. And that's when the work gets real brutal. So, it
Gotcha.
gets hot quick. And then we also have large volunteer events such as National Public Lands Day. That one already passed. That's normally in the 3rd week of September. And this past year we did some trail maintenance as well as reestablishing caliche on a trail in order to make it more easily accessible.
Right.
And the next one coming up will be on April 18th. We'll be doing an Earth Day cleanup there off of Steve Thompson Wildlife Drive. And that trail historically was open to the general public for vehicle access. It was a 14.2 mile loop. I don't know if you recall it. It was called Bayside Drive.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that
okay.
one got renamed in 2021 to Steve Thompson Wildlife Drive, one of the previous refuge managers who was amazing at creating great partnerships. So, and that one, unfortunately, in 2013, there was a female ocelot that got run over on the south side, which is why it's been closed down to vehicle traffic since
Right.
then.
Right.
There are works currently underway to reopen it back to vehicle access only when it's safe to do so for both the general public and the ocelots. That date's going to be April 18th from 9 a.m. to 12, and we'll be picking up trash off of the Steve Thompson Wildlife Drive, which is similar to a beach cleanup. However, in my opinion, a lot more pretty because you're cleaning up trash off the Laguna Madre, which is one of 5 hypersaline bodies of water located within the U.S. And so in front of you, you have the beautiful undisrupted view of the bay. And then behind you, you have coastal prairies mixed with Tamaulipan thorn scrub.
Right,
I mean, it's just a good day to spend
Wow.
a couple
Talk
of
about
hours
a view.
picking up some trash.
Yes, it does seem beautiful.
Yeah, and if anybody wanted to sign up, it is available for sign up right now through our Friends website. We have a nonprofit who supports our mission, and that's the Friends of Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge, and their website is flanwr.org.
Oh, perfect.
Is there any phone number that people can reach you at?
Definitely, that would be my phone number. So I have a work-issued cell phone, which is 956-244-2019.
Now, before we wrap this up, is there any message that you want to leave our listeners with?
Of course, if you haven't yet been to the refuge, if you're an individual who's lived in the Rio Grande Valley for, your entire lifetime, and it does happen that you've just never visited, we are a South Texas gem. I mean, we have people who come from all over the world, all over the U.S. We're actually the #1 refuge in the entire U.S. for birding. We have more bird species than any other national wildlife refuge, with 417 species throughout the year, with numbers peaking during migration, which is coming up right around the corner. They're going to start flying back north once they start getting their cold fronts.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it's easy to fall in love with Laguna. If you've never been, take a bike, enjoy a bike ride on the 14.2-mile loop, because it's still open for hiking and biking. But with 60 miles of hiking and biking trails, we can definitely accommodate, anything from the 0.8-mile trail to really getting out there and just having a fun day, enjoying Mother Nature. We are very biodiverse. So we have 45 different mammals, 44 different reptiles and amphibians, 417 different species of birds. Right. And then you have the butterflies and the flora, the fauna. I mean, it's just, the numbers get ridiculous out there, from seeing beautiful mesquite trees, ebonies, to lantanas. It's just remarkable. It's very easy to fall in love with it. So
sounds good.
That would be my biggest message, is to get outdoors, disconnect just for a little while, leave the phone in the truck, and get lost on the trail.
Perfect.
Doesn't that sound amazing?
Yeah,
I mean, and it's
amazing.
right here. It's a what? 25-minute ride? Depending on where you are?
Unfortunately, it took me 40 minutes to get over here, just because there's construction on FM 106.
That is, you are right.
If it wasn't for that, it would have only taken me about 30 minutes.
Yes, it's from wherever you are in the county, I would say is 30 to 40-minute drive. Like, let's say you're coming from La Feria or from Brownsville.
Yeah, and we're one of 3 national wildlife refuges, so it's public land. I mean, we pay taxes. Might as well go see what we're doing with your money.
Hey, that's a good way to put it.
I think we do it right here at U.S. Fish. We have Laguna Atascosa, who are also the largest refuge in South Texas. But you also have Santa Ana, located in Alamo, who they're an urban refuge. So they can provide different amenities. They actually still have a tram tour going on, which is very, very great information to be passed down during that tram tour. And you also have the LRGV tracks. One of my favorite ones would be La Sal del Rey, if you've ever visited that one.
No, I personally have not.
I have once, yes.
Yeah, you have to put it on your bucket list.
Really?
It's phenomenal. Yeah, it's a short hike to get to the actual salt lake, where you could still see clumps of salt just on the water.
Wow.
Yeah. They say the water has magical healing powers, but besides taking away your athlete's foot, I don't know what
Hey, so for some people, that's all the fixing they need.
That's all they need. That's all they need. That's all they need.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, George. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Health Yes. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and do all the things you need to do to make sure to get all of your notifications, to make sure you don't miss another episode. And we will see you on the next one. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay educated. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.